Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about original plastic ZhanChi's. I felt like I needed to kind of make this video for a while, and in the wake of my recent scandal per se, the April Fool's joke that didn't go as well as I thought, too many people believed it, so I thought I would make this video now. And I have more original plastic ZhanChi's that I'm showing here, but these are just some of my ones that I'd like to talk about in this video. And so for starters, this is the original plastic ZhanChi's silk from the cubicle. It's been modified and lubricated very well, broken in quite a bit, and it pops every once in a while. And by every once in a while, I mean every probably 10 to 12 solves. This is my very first ZhanChi that has been lubed with every kind of lubricant you can think of ever, and I bought this when they first came out. And it's very fast, just incredibly fast. And this is a white ZhanChi, and that's the only reason it is in this video. It's been also modified slightly by a person who no longer cubes, but they used to sell modified ZhanChi's. So original plastic ZhanChi is a ZhanChi that was basically made before 2012. That is not the exact date that they changed it. I'm not sure when that was, but the plastic did change from a softer plastic to a harder one. And these are the softer plastics. There's a few different ways you can tell. I'm not going to go over that in this video. I'll link to a video Justin Malari made, and that is very helpful for if you want to tell if a ZhanChi is original plastic or not. You can mostly just tell by the feel. Sometimes they'll have, most of the time they'll have a tan core, but not all the time. And there is a bit of difference in the color of the plastic from the new plastic and old plastic. So the old plastic is on the left and the new plastic is on the right. And you can tell that this is almost, it's a lighter color, it's almost gray, like a dark gray, and this is very black, so that's another way you can tell the difference. I've seen some people spend a crazy amount of money on these puzzles, and that is just insane. Crazy Bad Cubers original plastic ZhanChi sold for over $200, and that I believe it was $230. I might be wrong on that, but I think it was $230. And let me just tell you, that is not worth it. A friend of mine tried that ZhanChi at a competition, and he said it wasn't worth it. It wasn't that great. But you know, if you want one of these for collection, there's several ways you can get them. I'm not going to be, you know, explaining where to get one in this video, but mostly that's what they're for, is collection, because any new plastic ZhanChi can become as good as an original plastic ZhanChi if you know what you're doing. Because I have a ZhanChi here that is new plastic, and it is a Lubix ZhanChi, and it is pretty fast. It can corner cut well, and I think this would stand up to almost any original plastic ZhanChi. So Lubix makes very high quality puzzles. They're a bit expensive, but you know, you'd probably spend more on an original plastic. I've tried plenty of original plastics, one at my last competition actually, that are just no good at all. I mean, if you paid a lot of money for that cube, you'd be getting a cube that is worse than a brand new plastic ZhanChi. And a brand new ZhanChi that if you just like went to the cubicle and bought one now, isn't bad. I mean, they're good. This is pretty much a brand new ZhanChi. It's the new plastic, and it's not that bad. I can get 12-second averages on it. My times don't really change at all when I use this or use one of these. And this cube has never popped on me. It's quite tight actually, so the corner cutting isn't as great, but it stands up to new plastic ZhanChi's nonetheless, and it doesn't have any lube in it or anything. So why do people spend so much money on original plastic ZhanChi's? Is because of the hype. Lots of people have made so much hype around this cube that it's become crazy. It's not worth more than $30, I don't think. So don't spend more than $30 is basically the message in this video. And if you are spending that much, you better make sure that it is an amazing cube, because I don't think you should spend $30 on a 3x3 unless you're getting a really high quality puzzle. So a few options for getting something different from the original plastic ZhanChi. I know a lot of people bring up that it is like the same as the stickerless, and I have a stickerless here. It feels kind of like an original. This is a really old stickerless. They never changed the plastic on the stickerless cube. I'm not sure if the white would make a difference, but I don't think it would. The white plastic really didn't change that much, so if you're looking for a white original plastic ZhanChi, just buy a white ZhanChi. Yeah, so but as you probably know, stickerless cubes aren't allowed in competition, so you could get a colored cube, like I have a yellow one here, and this is really nice. It would stand up to original plastic ZhanChi. It feels a little bit different than a black or white cube. A bit smoother maybe, but not too much of a difference. And if you don't want color like yellow on yellow, you could go ahead and get the purple ZhanChi. This is another one of my favorites. The blue kind of matches a little bit, but it's smoother than a regular ZhanChi maybe. I haven't done anything to this, and it's pretty nice. So those are a couple options. Also, the 55mm ZhanChi. There's been a lot of talk about this one. I've seen some recently, and I have 4 of them here. And the 55mm ZhanChi is actually indeed made of a different plastic than the 57. I'm like 99% certain of this. I've heard it from many different sources. I've compared them myself, and it's actually the same as one of the versions of original plastic. There has been a couple different little variations in the older ZhanChis, and this is the same as one of them. So if you're looking for original plastic ZhanChi just to solve and have the smoothness, the 55 is smoother than a 57, and it's about the same price. So I like the 55 better than the 57. This is my one-handed main. It was my main for two-handed for a long time, and these cubes are pretty great. This was my two-handed main for a long time. Also, it's the white 57. So if you're looking for just like the type of plastic for the smoothness, the 55 is a good deal. I would recommend the 55 over an original plastic because it's the same and it's smaller, and I like solving the 55 better. So that is the 55. And also they have some ZhanChi's out for actually almost a year now. The primary plastic, I have 2 of them here, and you can tell that this is just the undyed plastic version of the ZhanChi. And so it's not black, and it's definitely not white. My camera's not focused on that, so it doesn't matter. But this is a bit smoother than a regular ZhanChi, especially this one, and it stands up to an original plastic. It feels almost exactly the same, just a few slight differences, mostly just in the snappiness of it. And yeah, so it's just a ZhanChi, just undyed, and they're pretty nice. And I gotta say, I really like these. This was my main for a while. I've had a lot of mains, but you know, it's just as good, and you can get this at the Cubicle for the same price, or $1 more than you can get a regular ZhanChi. So you can pick that up there, and it's pretty great. And yeah, so another thing is like the Guhong. This is Lubbock's Guhong. It's been broken in a lot, and a lot of you believed that this was a ZhanChi in my April Fool's video. It stands up to an original plastic ZhanChi. It's just as smooth, if not smoother. And yeah. Another thing a lot of people have brought up is the Feng Kun. The Feng Kun does feel smoother than a ZhanChi. It is a ZhanChi knockoff, so beware when buying it. This is an illusion cube that I made, but it's, you know, I can hold pieces, right? It's just as smooth as a ZhanChi. Maybe a little bit, you know, just a bit more of a snap into place, but I feel like that's because it's faster, just because of the ones it's made out of. But, you know, yeah, the Feng Kun, you can get it at the Cubicle.us for actually less than you can buy a ZhanChi. And I have a white new plastic ZhanChi here. I got this from my friend Victor in Brazil, and it is actually much better than my original plastic ZhanChi. You can tell that this original plastic ZhanChi has a lot of snappiness to it, very loud, and this one is much quieter, and you know, that just goes to show that you can make any ZhanChi better than an original plastic just by breaking in and lubing and modding. This was modded. You don't need to mod a cube. You can just lube it and it will become better with breaking in and such. So, as for other cubes, I don't use a ZhanChi as my main 3x3 right now. I'm using a Moyu Chi Long. I'm sure that will change very soon, but you know, I don't think original plastic ZhanChis are worth the money. I'm just trying to die down a bit of the hype here. And so, in final thoughts, original plastic ZhanChis are pretty nice cubes. Generally, they're better than most ZhanChis if they've been treated the same way. But again, you can make any cube as good or better than an original plastic ZhanChi. So, that is my thought on it. They're not actually worth the money that some people spend on them. So buyer beware when someone's trying to sell you an original plastic ZhanChi. If you have any questions about original plastic ZhanChis, feel free to leave them in a comment or hit me up with a personal message. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.